Okay, welcome back. I'm David Blatner from CreativePro Network, and I have with me Jonathan Dropiewski from Priint. And I am so excited to talk to you, Jonathan, because we talked in Washington D.C. at Creative Pro Week, and you were starting to bring up some ideas about how this intersection of print and web, and print and e-commerce, that really got my mind going. And so I'm so glad that we have an opportunity to just explore some of these ideas a little bit more. So welcome. Say
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Always great to chat with you.
so. Print is and print with two eyes. I love that
Two
it's
eyes.
an eye. And we talked last time about that. It's like the two. It's like print two. Um,
Yeah.
but print with two eyes. You are a. I mean, I think of you as a database publishing tools company. You probably have a bigger description
We
than that.
yeah, we really play in the marketing automation space.
Okay.
So we are automating what I call the last bastion of the marketing department, which is the kind of creative production layout of basically anything that ends up as PDF that you might use
Okay.
Adobe InDesign or Adobe Illustrator to create. We are able to kind of take the mundane tasks out of that. Our corporate hashtag is no more copy paste. It it amazes me how all these great highly paid creative and graphic professionals spend hours a day, week, month
Right.
copying and pasting data from Excel that by the time they're finished doing
Right.
the layout, half of it is out of date.
Right.
So we say we allow the creatives to focus on actually creating and not doing mundane copy paste editing.
I love that. And this is mostly relevant when that data is in Excel or a database or a
Based.
PIM
Yeah.
or a DAM or
Yeah. Any kind of back end system. I mean, everything, we're partners with most of the major PIM systems, DAM systems, CRMs, ERPs, CMSs, homegrown legacy gnarly. I had a call the other day about a Lotus Notes database, taking
oh
me
my
back a
god.
awfully long time.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, so connecting to all of those data sources, and particularly one of our unique features is the ability to connect to multiple data sources and marry that data. So from within InDesign, if I'm going to drag and drop a product onto the page to do its layout, and the image comes from a DAM system, the product specs come from an ERP, from a PIM, pricing from an ERP, and then maybe targeting or personalization data from CRM. That
Huh.
can be one single drag and drop, and the creative person doesn't have to worry about connecting to five different systems or getting data exports from IT.
Wow.
So it really allows the creatives to focus on being creative. It's a novel concept.
Exactly. Now, it might be as simple as making like a sales sheet, right? I mean, that's
Yep.
on the lower end. You have 1,000 products or 10,000 products, and you need to be able to spit these things out quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one of our newest offerings is our automated data sheet service, which plugs into most major PIM systems, and without ever even having to go to InDesign or Illustrator, just from within the PIM, you can literally click a button that says generate data sheet, and that will make a call to our system, generate the data sheet and deliver it right back to the PIM system, all within a minute or two. So you
Wow.
know, and you can automatically trigger that if a product spec or a price changes, or maybe an image is updated.
Uh huh.
So without you having to go in and spend a lot of time again doing that kind of mundane data updating. That way your data sheets can always have the most current information in them, and it makes product launches a whole heck of a lot easier.
Another example of this would be a catalog or a directory or
Yeah,
something, right? I mean, that's something people struggle with all the time. And you've got these 500-page catalogs. That's one kind of catalog that take forever to make. Or
oh,
what you
a-
and I were just describing, the idea of having a catalog, which is a lot of catalogs are targeting more. I mean, they're getting more narrowly focused. That's
Absolutely. One of our customers, the first time we met with them, it was taking them literally 18 months to do their annual product guide. And I did a double take in the meeting, and I looked over at the CMO, and the CMO is just shaking his head saying, yes, it was 18 months for an annual. And the problem
Wow.
is they spend so much time doing that. The instant that thing was published, it
It's
is
out.
woefully out of date.
Totally. Totally.
They're going live with our solution, and the new process is going to be about 2 months.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, and with current information, it's be able to be updated. But it's also in the catalog world exactly what you said. I think everyone has this image of catalogs as these big, thick,
They have been the Sears Roebuck kind
books.
of
Oh,
giant thing, right?
absolutely. And we're beginning to get to the time of year where we all, at least those of us of a certain age, remember those catalogs.
Right.
This is the time of year you got excited to see what the hot toys are going to be at
Right.
Christmas. But um, instead of those kind of thick catalogs, a lot of companies now with a tool like ours are able to generate much more targeted personal catalogs in fractions of the time. So,
Wow.
when you're designing your, omni-channel strategy, suddenly instead of saying, okay, we've got that, I call it you know, the woeful person in the corner of the marketing department who just spends all year creating that big
Right.
fat catalog. Now you can have a real discussion of true omni-channel marketing where online, offline, and everything in between, merges together. So,
And
we
so,
kind of take that timeline from being, this to this, which is great.
so these catalogs could be targeted and personalized down to the person. I mean, I might get my own catalog.
Per person, segment, you name it.
Okay.
If you serve a multilingual audience, but yet you've never even been able to conceive of being able to publish multilingual,
Right.
suddenly this kind of automation allows you to do those kinds of things to most effectively serve your audience. In other words, we want to enable marketers to be marketers
Mm-hmm.
and bring the same kinds of capabilities you take for granted in your e-commerce channel or your digital channel
Right.
into the offline channel as well.
And print is very clearly the premium medium at this point. I mean, there's so much. We are constantly bombarded with digital, so that when we actually get something in print, all the studies
It
show
is.
we value that more. It's something we have in our hands.
It is the open rate on, it's what's old is new again, right?
Right.
And we don't kid ourselves. Old school print, will never exist the way it did for years and years and years. But we firmly believe there is a place for print and offline, publishing to play in an omni-channel, digitally driven world.
Yep.
That you're no longer filling out a paper order form and sending it in, right?
Right. Right.
But that print medium, exactly what you just said, that postcard or that mailer, is the ideal medium for new product introduction, discovery.
Mm-hmm.
My background before I came to print was all digital, and including a long stint in web analytics. And if you try and introduce a new product on page 8 of your website, your chances of somebody seeing
Right.
that are approximately zero.
Right.
If you put something on page 8 of a flyer or catalog, you're going to get a good chunk of eyeballs on that new
Oh,
product
that's
still.
interesting. Now,
Yeah.
so on that idea that we're trying to marry this digital and print, these worlds, uh, give can you describe this solution that you were describing to me before about the postcard
Good.
for
So
you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, no, absolutely. So we're working with a large electronics retailer in Europe, and they've kind of taken an innovative approach to cart abandonment.
Okay.
So what they're doing is that they're taking nightly shopping cart abandonment data. So you've gone to the website, you've gone to the hassle of researching a product and put it in your shopping cart,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't complete that transaction. And what they're doing, traditionally your pure digital folks will say, "Oh, we're going to send the follow-up email that says, 'Hey, you left something in your cart. Don't you want to buy it?'"
Right.
And that certainly has its place, but What these folks have done is taken to sending a very personalized postcard based on that shopping cart abandonment data to those folks. It's created, as I said, every night and then instantly mailed out. So your lag is only a day or two.
Hmm.
And what they've found is that the conversion rate is several times higher than what the conversion rate of sending the email was.
Wow.
And I think all of us these days, especially through COVID, are almost on inbox overload, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many
Yeah.
emails do you delete on a daily basis without ever opening?
Yes.
Versus, you know, conversely, during COVID, particularly when everybody was at home, a lot of folks' big trip out every day was going to see what was in the mailbox.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the eyeballs, the open rate or the eyeball rate on those postcards is extraordinarily high, and they've been able to correlate that with much increased conversion rates.
I
So
love
I
that.
love telling that story because when folks see, and hear about what we do, they think, oh, this is, pure legacy print or offline channels. And really, this is a perfect example of where that kind of offline marketing still plays and is very, very effective even in an e-commerce digital transactional world.
I think the way that these things work together, getting people to move back and forth between print and digital is going to be critical for success. And I love the idea. We've seen QR codes. The other thing that really
Yep.
exploded over the past couple of years was QR codes, which have been around for a decade or two, but
Yep.
all of a sudden everybody's using them. And the idea that you could send something in print with a customized QR code that could take them back to
That's it.
digital, that
That's it.
that back
As
and
I
forth, yeah.
Yeah, as I said, that transaction is still going to happen in the digital channel, right?
Hmm.
I don't think anyone is arguing anything different, but what
I'm
is the
gonna write a
motive?
check out and I'm gonna
Right, right.
put it in the mail.
Um, but what drives or is the inspiration to that transaction, I think, is where a true omni-channel
Mm,
strategy really becomes
I love that.
effective. And it's with the new printing technologies that make that kind of personalization much more affordable now than it's ever been in history. It can be cost effective and marketing effective, which is a wonderful combination.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so,
So so
go ahead.
so if somebody's a creative pro, if a creative pro out there is listening, watching this, and wants to learn more about automating their systems, their workflows, their designs, so that they don't have to be doing that copy and paste all day long, where should they go? Where do they learn more about what print has to offer?
Well, we too have a website. Um, it,
Wow,
it's priint.com.
two
We
eyes,
have
two eyes.
two eyes, priint.com.
Good.
We also have a YouTube channel with a bunch of cool videos on it that describe what we do. If anyone's going to be at Adobe Max, we are going to have a booth
Great.
at Adobe Max coming up. We were happy to participate in all the Creative Pro events this year, and we expect that to continue going forward. So
Great.
we're findable. Follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn is the best way, even if you don't have a project now. We're constantly releasing white papers and detailing customer case studies, and those are all out on our social media channels.
And I think that's a really important point. Even if you don't have a project now, this is the kind of technology which is going to be absolutely critical in the future. You just need to be able to be up on this stuff. So just even putting your toe in it now and watching some of those videos on the YouTube channel, reading through some of the case studies on the website, I just find it fascinating. And it's like, it almost makes me want to search out doing those kinds of projects because of the power involved.
Yeah, I mean, it really is geared towards allowing designers and graphic professionals to spend time doing the stuff they love
Yeah,
and not sitting there literally copying and pasting and then being frustrated because, hey, we just had, 18 out of 20 price changes and I have to go back and, redo all the work I've just
right.
spent the last number of days doing. It's yeah, and
Nobody wants
and
that.
No, and literally, these are business processes that haven't changed since InDesign was released. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I call it the last bastion of automation in the marketing department. It's one of our other hashtags is there is a better way because a lot of folks,
Yeah,
um,
people need to know there is a better way.
there is a better way.
So that's why I'm so glad that you joined us on this little Creative Pro conversation, just to remind people or to teach some people that there is a better way, and they just take some time and learn about it. Over the
Yeah,
long run, it's going to be almost everybody's going to get involved with this sooner or later.
yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
big.
No more copy paste.
No more copy paste. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for taking the
Th-
time to introduce this idea for us.
Thank you so much. Look forward to talking to you again.
Yes.